you think a person can change? You see, my base is undergoing a transformation. Maybe it's more like a metamorphosis? And that has me thinking a lot about change and growth. Because I'm completely replacing the vanilla landscape of my base. Gone are the awkward steps and humps of world generation, and in its place are the sharp, steep, and hopefully mature cliffs. Now, just this bit that I've done took me over 20 hours on the server, and that doesn't include the time to gather materials or the days I spent in my creative world designing everything. The aim is to lean more into the fantasy aspects of the build. See, I'm really close to MJ and to Silent and to our other neighbors back there. That's where Kiwi and Richie are. So I couldn't really make big sweeping hills without encroaching on any of their space. I thought, why not step a little bit further away from the Hobbiton build and lean more into like that Viking look. And I think it's coming along really nice. Now, full transparency, this is my first ever real terraforming project, and I learned so much in tackling it. First off, it never stops raining. But secondly, I probably spent a little too much time with the finer details in some areas, while in other places, well, I might have to go and revisit them as I kind of use some shortcuts. And we'll see how that goes as the base continues to progress. Let me sleep. Perfect. Now, you can see here that I spent a lot of time trying to make sure that I got the coloring right, I got shading right. I try to use some darker blocks in the back, some brighter blocks in the front. We got the new pale moss halfway through me building this, so I went through and added it and sprinkled it around some places. I don't quite have everything building up to the cliffs, like... Well, you can see, it's just cliff, grass, cliff. And I am going to eventually go in and add buttons, add some more stuff, kind of like what I did over here. Add a bit more so that everything blends up into the cliffs better. And where I do think this makes for something, you know, you can always rest your eyes on something that's interesting to see. Oh, it took so much time. It took so much time. And at the scale I'm building at, maybe wasn't all that helpful. Because I think if you are back here, you don't really ever see all of these really small details. But some of the illusion, like in here where it gets real dark, I think that came out... Aw, dirt. I think that came out really well. And I'm very, very happy with the progress I've made. Obviously, we still have to get rid of the light spam. That's going to be going away. And if we come over to here, you can see that I redid our little wheat field, brought it up, added some irrigation. I'm very pleased with how this came out. And we're moving to these more pink jellyfish designs. I still really like the floating jellyfish. Adds a bit of fantasy, adds a bit of magic, and adds some much necessary lighting because... Well, as you can see, I had to replant some of this. The the tree above casts a bit of a dark shadow. And yeah, we will eventually be moving a lot of this to down there, so we're not quite as spammed with jellyfish. It'll just kind of appear wherever it's darkest, so we can light things up. Over here, this will eventually be a small lake or pond, so that, well, we can get rid of our unsightly guests. I'm tired of all the house guests in this place. I've definitely built more than my fair share of mob farms in this place. And that's why you can see all of the lighting. But yeah, so this heavy focus on shadow and lighting meant a fairly diverse palette. Man, that was really annoying. As every single time I was placing blocks, within a few minutes I would run out of my stack and I had to run back to my monster over there and then back and back and back and back, and then you get it. It's a nightmare. Inventory, please let there be a proper inventory update. This wasn't even like a very complex palette. I just had like a pretty diverse one. I'd say it was about mid-range for complexity, and it is so annoying. I'm not even using partial stacks. Everything I hold is like a full stack of 64, and still all the little, like the extra cobblestone, the cobblestone walls, the stone, the andesite, the deep slate, all the deep slate variants, the moss variants, the tough variants. It was a lot, and my little backpack can't handle it anymore. Please, an inventory update. So anyways, I wanted to avoid anything looking too flat. So I made a lot of little divots, a lot of little, like, not quite caves, but just deeper places. And I think that came out really, really well. You can see that I still have holes. I have plans. We're going to integrate some of the skulk that's in the tree into the cliffs themselves. I'm very excited to do that. That's not going to happen in today's episode, but I'm very excited to do that. And yeah, as I said, all of this took, well, it took about 20 hours just to build it. And that doesn't include the time it took for me to design everything in creative, or the time, you know, I made changes on the fly here in survival, or getting all of the materials. Luckily, that part wasn't too painful. We've got a shopping district. I've got some amazing friends that have some awesome moss farms that really sped things up. But yeah, a lot of time spent here. And, well, that got me thinking. Do you think people can change? And I ask for 3 reasons. 1, deep, sappy videos that romanticize Minecraft and its impact on one's life. Well, they're a rising niche, and this is likely the closest I'm ever going to get to making a video like that. 2, padding my episode time. I have over 20 hours of building footage from these cliffs, and, well, I needed something else to talk about besides just that. I'm really happy with the progress, but I know ain't nobody's trying to watch all of that. And 3, I'm starting to feel like I might be the worst artisan on the server. And that one, Bella Brain, that one's kind of just between you and me, right? Keep that a secret, but I'm starting to think I'm the worst artisan on the server. Now, why do I think that? Well, I'm not the best builder on the server. We have some incredible talent on the SMP, and I'm not even close to their level. 2, I'm not the one that's the most active and always available for collabs and goofing off. Nor do I do the best when we're playing our games or doing little in-server contests. And 3, despite being part of an SMP, I tend to just log in, work on my project, log off. And projects like this, they take a lot of time, but that means I'm not spending any of it with my friends. And when I do play with everybody, I tend to struggle with how to, you know, integrate them into my clips, into my videos. And I would really like to change that. Now, I know some of you have gotten to this part of the video and thinking, wow, this guy is so deep and self-aware, I should like and subscribe to the channel. You're right, I am. You should. Others will say, why are you being so weird about this? If you want to play with your friends, just log in and do so. You're right. That wouldn't be a very satisfying hero's arc, would it? Either way, I intend to find out as I embark on a new quest to become the greatest artisan on this here server, the Artisan Collective. So, in order to do that, I need to become the best builder, gamer, and friend. And, well, what if I could do all 3 at the same time? Luckily for me, we've just opened the Artisan Arcade, a brand new district east of the shopping area where over the next few weeks, we on the server will be converting this flat wreck into a bustling area filled with games for us all to play. For my contribution, I thought it'd be fun to do a Trident arena, and since the one and only Alliumnight is the only other person on the server to consistently carry a Trident, I teamed up with her for the build. Welcome to my super flat world, my redstone testing world, my forever world, whatever you want to call it. This is the place where Maze's brain goes to work. And with the Distant Horizons mod, you can see that I'm in desperate need of cleaning it up. We've got a few old builds around here, and I should probably better organize this place. But the goal here was to design the game, and it was a very simple concept. We have Riptide Tridents, and we wanted to have a PvP arena for them. And that's been around pretty much as long as Riptide's been around, so not a very original idea. So how do we spice it up? How do we add something new to it? And what I had come up with was the Guardian. You have a little Guardian there. You can have him pop out with a trapdoor, pop in so he can see you, make eye contact, attack you. He won't because I'm in creative and I am the God Lord and he knows better. But yeah, that was the idea. And we could have this maybe, you know, be randomized with a chicken back here. Well, that posed a lot of problems. This would end up being very bulky because we'd have to cover all the redstone so it doesn't wash away. You see, we have the redstone up here, so this has to get covered all the way out. It's big, it's bulky, it's not pretty, but it's about the only way we could have, you know, interacted with the trapdoor. There's actually a surprisingly complex little thing. I love that about redstone. You have like, you think it's going to be really simple, and then you're like, well, wait, how do you power this trapdoor? The trapdoor can only be powered by the block that this guy's in, so how do you power it? And that's what this tried to solve. Well, it didn't work, and we ended up evolving to this. It's just a simple system of a piston going up and then going back down. And I wanted it to be more toggleable, and work more like a lever. So that when you come back and toggle it again, it goes down. Very simple, very easy. That way we can put the Guardian in there, he'll pop up, he can see around, and then you can toggle it again and drop it back down. And now, how do we toggle this? Do you just swim up and press a button? No, not at all. That's what the sensor's for. So we have a sensor, and it's getting a redstone power of 3 because of the auto crafter through this comparator. And it comes into here. This is a very important part of the contraption. This bulb with this comparator, this is what is called a T-flip-flop. If you've ever watched any redstone video, you've probably heard it. So because the copper bulb will, and the comparator here, all it does is just kind of reads that this has a power, and then it just keeps this on. So it turns this button into a lever, because otherwise this sensor would just work like that button. It would just go back down. And we can see that here. Look. And it stays. That's what we wanted. And then this, and it goes back down. Perfect. Now, whenever we put a guardian in here, we can toggle them up. We can toggle them down. Very cool. Very easy. Very simple. And then we can put them up there in one of the orbs. That orb. That's where I was playing with it. I broke that because I have infinite reach on an axiom. Let's turn that off. You guys didn't see anything. I'm not going to fix that right now. And you can see we had decided on an orb. Yes, a giant orb in the sky. We're going to get to the stuff behind me in a second. It went through quite a few different variations, a lot of different designs. We played around a lot with axiom. And this is kind of what we ended up with. These big rings wrapped around this orb to kind of hold it there. I still really like these drippy bits that I was playing with. It's just kind of some shapes that I was putting on, some stuff I was testing, and I might get around to that. You know, you might see that. Who knows? We'll get there. But here, we made this little fish looking. It's so bad. This is a terrible, terrible looking anglerfish design, but he's there. It kind of works. It is what it is. But we're underwater, and if you riptide, or I'm using the fishing rod, use an item nearby. Look, he pops up, and he's in the minecart, and that's very important. That was another little puzzle I had to solve. I love redstone so much. That didn't frustrate me at all. I didn't at all feel like a fool. So I'm going to put a guardian right here. I'm like, wow, it's working. Wow, it's perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when I retract it, it's a water block. So he can still swim up.
Oh.
And that's the problem. That is the entire problem, the only problem, the whole problem. Nothing but the problem.
I see.
Unless... Hold on. Wait. Sorry, Guardian friend. Goodbye, Guardian. You died for science. Wait. Wait. Allie, wait. Calm down.
Ooh. Yeah, I was really excited to see the rail in minecart.
Allie, they're in minecarts. Allie, why didn't you remind me? They're in minecarts.
You thought I would remember. I'm me.
Look, they're in minecarts. That's how they're not despawning
Yes.
right now. I think they haven't despawned. I really hope they haven't. That was a long day.
I seriously hope they're still there.
I don't have to change anything. Miz is perfect. I should never second guess myself.
Yes. Good job. Good job. All
Well,
credit
so-
goes to you, my friend.
But here we are. It's very simple. It's all kind of hidden in there. It's all waterlogged, safe from the water. It works, and I'm very happy with it. Now that the redstone part was done and we had an idea for the concept of the game itself, the mechanics, which is just riptide about, kill your friends, you know, and you can sick guardians on them for a little bit of tactical gameplay, be a little strategic with it. What about the rest of the build? Like, clearly we have an orb, but why is the orb there? How's it suspended in the air? And we had worked on a tower design. You can see here we had some quick sketches. We were thinking maybe some big arms, kind of like a call out to Mumbo Jumbo's season, I think 10. I forget which season, but Mumbo Jumbo's base, the one with the big ratchet sprocket looking things. And we thought that would be cool. But then I remembered Allie had this really awesome and amazing tower in her base, and it's a really great build. And I kind of already liked the windows and everything. And we're like, hey, what if we use that? So we expanded it. This is it, 3 times bigger. We used Axiom to have this happen. It was very quick, but then of course we had to clean it all up. Look at all these artifacting. All of this had to go. All of this had to get ripped out. But it was a lot of fun. And you can see we kept expanding on it. Over here we have another rendition of it. It's even bigger. We put the orb up there, and we learned something horrible. And the reason I'm telling you all this like this is because I might have lost the footage of us doing this on stream, and I'm a little frustrated by that, but we'll live and learn. But Allie built this on 2s. Look at this. Look at this beautiful double door. So we had to come over here. We made it bigger. We pulled it out, put it on 3s, made everything centered up, and then we got to work cleaning on it. And whoa, did that take some time? We really kind of pushed ourselves, at least especially me, doing a lot of new things. You can see that we took that window and we expanded it out, kind of rounded it, gave it a bit more shape. We took out all of the wall here. We're going to put some nice big stained glass windows here to hold everything. And then I started getting really creative with colors. I've seen colors like this used for shading, and I had never done it before. And something I've really tried to do this season is anytime I go after a build, I do something new, something I had never ever done, so I could really push myself and kind of just keep learning and growing. You can see here that I ended up taking away some of the colors so I can get a better idea for just shapes, and then try it again with a bit more subtlety. I like this orange, but it just popped too much, and I don't think that came out well. So when I came over to here, I got way more subtle, and I paid more attention to like these transitions here. You can see the darker purple into the lighter, into the pink. I think that gave it, I think it looks a lot better that way, especially from a distance. There's a bit more of that dithering, that shadowing that really made it look less messy. Then we played with stained glass, and this is my first time ever trying like a stained glass gradient. It's not quite as clean as I would like to have been. From some angles, it's really nice. Head on, it's a little sharp. You can still see the panes of glass. We've got some wool behind it to block off what's inside. And then again, from the sides, from down here, it looks really good. I am happy with it. I wish I could have figured out this trick. I don't know why I was having such a hard time like replicating it. If you guys have any advice, let me know in the comments below. I'm here to learn. It's what I'm all about. But yeah, I think with the colors, it is a big contrast, but I didn't think it came out all that badly. And you can see over here, we kept playing with it, kept toying with it, cleaned it up a bit more. I added some more shape with these columns, and because we're building this on survival, on the SMP, I was very cognizant of the colors of the blocks that I was using. A lot of pale moss got us all the color we needed from tough. Super easy to farm. tough, not as easy. So I went hard on pale moss. The pale oak, I think, came out really wonderfully to give me these columns. And it still also gave us just a bit of that purple, a bit of that pinkish that you're seeing from the rest of this. So I think it really helped pull everything together. And you see I did a bit more up here. It's all completely shaped. I made this like design a bit more subtle. I cleaned up a bit more of the coloring, kept it on just the corners, because originally it was all behind it, and it kind of just looked real messy after a bit. And then we come over to here. And I would say this would be at about 90% done. I'm not 100% happy with how the tower came out per se. It's not that I'm unhappy, but I was kind of rushing to get stuff done for the game district. And that meant a few shortcuts. Like right here where I connected the walls, I just threw up big squares, and I wouldn't do that again if I redid this build. If I do have time to revisit it, I would come in and better shape up the top up here. These tentacles though, oh, I'm so happy with how they came out. I'm not really good with organics yet, but the tentacles, and this was a lot of the path tool in Axiom doing a lot of this work. Don't let me lie to you. I did not do these by hand, but man, I'm happy with how they came out, especially when I got them colored. And yeah, overall, I'm very happy with the big tower, with the orb, praise orb, and with the little fish that came in it. Some of it's scuffed. You can definitely see we're still learning, but I can't say I'm displeased with the progress that we made with the build. We did all of this little like detailing on top, keeping the top, you know, as simple as we could, so we didn't detract from the orb itself. Similar detailing that we did down here. The biggest thing was just trying to make sure everything stayed consistent as we were working through some of that artifacting when we scaled everything up. And yeah, with the big windows and everything, I think this came out wonderfully. So how about we see what we were able to get done in survival? So after my unfortunate death loop, I enlisted my friends Emerald and Ames to come help me fill up the rest of the orb. They kept the ground busy while I got to work, and while we do that in the background, let's bring it back to the goals of today's video. So my goal was to become the best builder, the best gamer, and the best friend on the server, so I could say that I am the best artisan on the server. Now, as far as becoming the best builder, I had posted in our Discord the schematic for the full tower build. And needless to say, I think it intimidated my fellow artisans. So grand was its design and its scale that they told me I couldn't build it. And I take that as a win. I think that means that I am the best builder if that happens, and you guys can't take that away from me. As far as becoming the best gamer, that didn't happen. My game killed me before I could even finish it a lot. I'll eat that loss. That was on Maze, and I will train and strive to be better for the next video. I'm sorry to my loyal fans. And as for being the best friend, well, we planned the build. Allie was very excited with it. She was very helpful. And then finals week hit for her, so my Discord is loaded with a lot of messages like these. And I can't help but feel that if I forgive her here on YouTube to all of you, my loyal viewers, that makes me the best friend anybody could ever ask for. So that's what I will do. Allie, I forgive you. Because it wasn't that big of a deal. She actually helped a whole lot. So. But and then 2 out of 3, I will take that as like I'm mostly the best artisan on the server. I think we can survive with that as a win. I'm just happy that this build is mostly done though. I went so hard at my cliffs and at the orb that I actually did hurt my wrist, and it took me out of everything for about 2 weeks. Then I had a family trip and life happens. But yeah, if you guys did get this far, obviously like the video, so go ahead and hit the thumbs up, give myself a subscribe, help the channel grow. I am so happy to be back. Hopefully it won't be another 2 months before the next video. I got a small clip for you as we head out. Ciao.
In colors, yeah. Do you see me?
I just hit the record as well, so I'm gonna go see the Meg.
This is the Meg.
Oh my. This is the most cursed and wonderful thing I've ever seen in my I've never been a meme like this before. I'm honored.
Well, because it started off as me being like, oh, it looks like an egg yolk. And then I started thinking of deviled eggs, so I stuck it on a bone block.
I need to get just this head into a with no background and like just spin it, and that's gonna be a loading screen or something. That's gonna be a good representation of what happens with my brain. That's just my brain. It's just
but yeah, it's the Meg.